I like Legos.
Wait, you like Legos?
Did
I
you
like
play with Legos?
Did we just become best friends?
I think so. Oh, hey there. Do you like that accent? What was that? That was a voice.
I have no idea.
Hi there. Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of, if you don't know, honestly, what did you click on? Like, how did you?
We are so sorry.
Yeah, did you get rickrolled? Like, how did you end up here and not know what it is? It is Tech Talk Tuesday, of course. And joined as always, I'm Matt Ray. I'm here with Neil Tardy. You can at us, as the kids say. Feel free to hit us up with any questions or comments. No, you know what? Keep your comments to yourself. And no, I'm just kidding. We love to hear from you. And we miss you. And welcome back. Unless this is your first time, in which case, what took you so long?
We're not salty or anything.
No. So after that guilt trip, let's go ahead and just get started.
So Matt already spilled the beans, but yeah, this is really cool. Lego has built a video game, which is basically a tool within Unity. So if you don't know what Unity is, it's a game engine to help game developers build games quickly and not have to worry about all the things under the hood. Matt and I have some experience here and have played around with Unity before, and it's a lot of fun. But Lego has partnered with Unity and trying to make game development approachable and easy. So the whole point of the Lego micro game is what they're calling it, is to make video game easy for people that have no prior video game programming knowledge. So from what Unity and Lego are saying, you can create kind of like your own levels and everything like that. And then there are other mods within Unity that you can add into this to continue to add on. But yeah, I think they're saying that you can build and customize a 3D game in under an hour.
Yeah.
Just because they've taken care of a lot of the hard stuff for you, which is really, really cool. As Matt and I know, it can be massively difficult to do some of these things in any game engine, but Matt and I have dabbled with Unity before, and it can be pretty challenging to do certain things. So yeah, I think this is really cool. I hope a lot of people get a lot of use out of it. Is this something that you're going to take a look at, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm actually pretty excited to show Reese. I can definitely see, she's 15 and, her group, she was in robotics and stuff. And so I think this would get her pretty jazzed up, right? If she can, because Unity runs on dang near anything, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I think if she could do some drag and drop and like put together some basic rules and stuff, and she knows a little bit of code, just enough to be dangerous, and create something that's uniquely your own, right? That's that magic moment, at least for me as a developer, and it sounds like for many, right? Is that moment that you're like, I built the thing, even if it's stupid, right? Like I built the stupid thing, you hit the button and it does what I wanted it to do. And I think that's magnificent. So I could definitely see the sharing capability of this really being what drives this forward. And this really could be kind of like what Apple was trying to do with like their, what is it called? Swift Playgrounds on the iPad. But it was very tutorial laden. Like you had to really kind of grind through what they wanted you to do and a lot less of what you wanted you to do. And this is kind of the opposite. They're kind of giving you a light tutorial to get you going, and then you're kind of off to the races. And I think that's brilliant. And it being free probably is not going to hurt either.
Yeah, and there's also assets and things that that you can unlock just by doing things like sharing your game or updating it, or even attending a game jam of some sort. So yeah, I think that they really hit the nail on the head with this one. This is something that I'll definitely be taking a look at, just because I want to see kind of what all they baked in for you and that you don't have to deal with anymore for this. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Legos, right?
Right, I know. So yeah, that'll be really cool. It'll be interesting to see what kind of almost like the mods, right? So I always think about like the mod community. Like we've talked about Doom, we've talked about like pick any really actually any AAA game on the PC, and there's always some kind of active kind of modding community for it. Even Minecraft, right? So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this, and I think this really could inspire kind of like the next generation of developers and at least game developers at a minimum.
For sure.
So bouncing on to something new, if you were like, oh man, I hate my DSL. Well, I feel for you because you're still on DSL. Like, that sucks, man. Like, let's just have a moment.
Pour one out.
Bro. But maybe you heard about this SpaceX, right? And you're like, oh, they're doing this Starlink thing. They're shooting like all these satellites up into the sky. Some people are angry about it. They say they're polluting our space. But I don't care because I'm going to get some world-class internet. Well, the good news is they're starting to kind of beta test it. It's $100 a month, but unlike your cable setup or something like that, it doesn't come with like some equipment that you're gonna get for quote unquote free, even though we're always paying for it, people. Anyway, you're actually gonna have to shell out a little bit of money to get the kit, right? Because you got to connect to the satellite. The cool thing is you get a little, probably somewhere north of 20 megabyte. And really, actually, it scales up pretty high. Let's see, look through here. Yeah, there we go. So $100, you get your terminal, tripod, and Wi-Fi router, but $500, right, out of the gate. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, they're showing data speeds from 50 meg per second, which, dude, that's great. Now that's megabits. Let's not get it twisted, right? Always remember, you got to multiply by 8 or divide by 8 if you're going to switch between bits and bytes. But up to 150 megabits a second, like come on now, that's really, really good, especially if you're still in DSL. The actual ping time on this, 20 milliseconds to 40 milliseconds latency, like that's stellar. Like,
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So I definitely think that's cool. They're rolling out and really focused on the United States and Canada right now. Shocker, right? As with all things SpaceX and Tesla related, right? You want to get people early up on the curve to pay for the rest, like development out of the rest of it. But I think this is cool. Like, we take a lot of things for granted. I know I do. I've whined for several years about not being able to have fiber optic, which is now getting ready to be lit up in the neighborhood. And I forget that there's places that are truly still doing basically dial-up speeds. And I don't know how you live, but no, I think it's easy to forget that. And then, so when you hear about the Starlink, you may think like, well, who's doing that? Like, why are they doing that? But it's for these extra rural kind of communities, ultimately to be able to reach. There's even a little sub story involved here where Starlink was actually providing internet access. I don't know if you saw this to the areas hit by the wildfires, which right? Your entire infrastructure has been uprooted. So I think there's some use cases here that are beyond what you think of a traditional commercial implementation that are really cool. Much like them taking the huge power walls and stuff to areas that have been, had power knocked out and stuff. So I think it's kind of cool, man. Even if I get a couple extra quote unquote stars in the sky, a few thousand, it turns out. I don't know, man. This is one of those things I think is worth it.
Yeah, I think this is like a good first step. I think, I don't know, like the speeds aren't like blow your pants off, right?
No, which is good.
That's not who they're targeting either. Right now, I do think that the price for what for like the speeds that they're charging is very salty.
Yeah.
But again, if this is the only thing that you can get where you are, like I'm okay with it a little bit too, because it's like, would you rather have a $20,000 upfront cost to run line out to your house, or would you rather have this upfront cost within a little bit more with promises that your speeds are going to increase at some point? Because they will.
Yeah, they will, for sure.
So I mean, I think that this is a great first step. I do think that for rural areas, this will be great. I worry about the price point for those people. That I'm not quite sure if that price point is just right for them. But it sure as hell beats having to pay up front to have Comcast or AT&T run something out to your house, because that gets really expensive really quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to pay for a satellite myself, so.
Yeah, no, hard pass.
I don't know how much it costs to launch a satellite, but I'm pretty sure it's not cheap. So.
It's more monies than I have.
Yeah, I mean, it's inconceivable, right? So anyway, so we'll have to look forward to that.
So a way of life for all of us right now, due to the pandemic, is Zoom calls. But Zoom has finally launched end-to-end encryption for free users, which you would have thought was pulling teeth for them. But yeah, so they just rolled this out. But yeah, so they denied it originally to free users, but their paid users all got it. And so that obviously really frustrated people. But it's kind of like, you're not paying for the service, so I don't know what you expect. But Zoom has since gone back on that. And so now everyone can use end-to-end that feature. So you'll have to update Zoom, obviously, to make that happen. But there's also a handful of catches that you may not be aware of. So because every user that joins the call is end-to-end encrypted, there will be certain features that you will not be able to use within Zoom, such as the cloud recording. Kind of makes sense to me. Live transcription, again, really makes sense to me as well. And meeting reaction features. That one, I'm a little like, that's a little weird, but they must be doing some sort of tracking on that, which is why maybe they're not doing that. I'm not sure.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. And then the last thing is participants won't be able to join the call by phone or use one-to-one private chat. The one-to-one private chat, I'm kind of like, well, if you can use public chat, why can't you use private chat? That seems a little weird to me, but there must be some technical limitation there from them. And then calling in via phone number, I think that kind of makes sense to me as well. Sure. There's just no way to encrypt that on their end, end to end. So yeah, I mean, those are the handful of catches, but if you're looking for something to be securely encrypted, I think that those are some pretty reasonable trade-offs here. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I'm a fan of anything that strengthens kind of protections for people. It obviously is not going to prevent Zoom bombing, but they've tried to come about that in different ways by requiring passwords and doing kind of what do they call there's like a waiting room, right, that you can set up. I always accidentally turn it on, and I'm super frustrated. Like when I have to, it's like ding ding, and like letting people in. It's like I don't want to have to do things. But no, I think this is really cool. I am fascinated by whatever the limitations are that they're facing, but it's kind of insightful and fun, because it's like, you think of Zoom, they're a pretty big company, and clearly a very relied upon technology. But it's interesting to see as they're acquiring third parties really as a whole, right? So they acquired Keybase to actually bring that encrypted technology in. And so, they're doing what the rest of us are doing with our products, right? They're trying to integrate, trying to make things work. They're trying to keep their costs low, though. And so, I don't know, as a kind of developer and as somebody who works, you've got your One Cost shirt on today. We work there as well, and watch as that product kind of comes up and we have to integrate with things. It's actually a relief when I see larger companies out there kind of struggling to figure out how to do some of these things as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about the integration pieces. Like, this is probably something to do with integrating that technology into the existing technology, and there's some sort of limitation there, which is why they can't allow these certain features. because they're probably done some way on their back end with that. I wasn't really thinking about that until you said it, but I bet you that's what it is. And more than likely, they'll be able to shore those things up with the resources that Zoom has. I bet that these features will come back for end to end if they can happen. But yeah, that's definitely probably why, is that Keybase integration.
Yeah, dang it, Keybase. We're thankful for you. I think that this is good, and anything that moves the privacy kind of needle forward for us, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think another thing that was really interesting is that any free account that's wanting to use this feature will have to add a phone number and a billing information.
Yeah.
That seems very sus to me.
Yeah.
Apparently it's to prevent abuse, but I'm kind of like, yeah, but now you have all of my billing information, and I'm kind of worried that if I want to use an end-to-end like encrypted call in the future, you're going to start like charging me per call that I want to end-to-end encrypt.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, well, that's not actually bringing it to your free users, because you still have to pay for it at that point, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's where they're going with that. I hope
sounds like they've got you over a barrel for sure.
Yeah, but adding your billing information for something that's free is always a little bit suspect to me.
For sure. They're the imposter. They're very sus.
That's right.
They've been doing sus things. I found a body in the electrical closet. So.
Oh, did you? Were you doing lights?
Yeah, and somebody vented. I have no idea what we're talking about. It's okay. Go Google search Among Us, the game, and it still won't make sense. It'll be fine.
No, it won't. Well, with that's all we have for today. So thank you for joining us on this edition of Tech Talk Tuesday. If you want to read up on any of the articles that Matt and I discussed today, you can find them in the description below. And while you're there, how about you go ahead and subscribe? It's below you, Matt. Yes. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and give us a subscribe. That way you don't miss any future editions of Tech Talk Tuesday. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want to join us live, we would really like that. So if you have any questions that you would like Matt and I to answer on the show, you can go ahead and DM us. Our Twitter handles are below our names. We'd love to answer any questions that you guys have, technology or non-technology related.
Okay.
There will be a filter ?
Yeah, Logan.
So with that, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
We really will have a filter, right? Because I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm very scared.
Very sus.